We now welcome to the podium the 2012 MAAC champions, Marist head coach Brian Georges, along Coriel Yard, Randy Gang, and Casey Doolin. For the members of the media in the audience, please raise your hand. We'll pass you the wireless mic. Coach, if you can begin with an opening statement.
Well, it was funny. Last night I couldn't sleep, and all I just kept remembering is seeing how well Linney shoots and how well basket. They have so many great perimeter shooters. How are we going to stop Johnson and stuff? And I finally had to say to myself, and I just said, stop it. These kids have, amazed you all year. And they're going to do it again. They can't come this far and not keep doing what they do. And they put on, I think, one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen in a championship game at both ends of the floor. That's a great Fairfield team. Extremely well coached, great players. They shot 45 or 47% in both games in the first two things. And we beat and really dominated a great team with great players. And I can't say enough, this is your classic team where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's got great senior leadership, with these two and Emily Stallings. And it's got great underclassmen who just really believe. And I couldn't be prouder of a group of people. I kind of get frustrated because, when you look at all tournament teams and all the accolades, it's the usual characters that get them. And then the Kelsey Bainens, who saved us Saturday, and the defensive job she did on Tara Johnson today was just incredible. And then the job Leanne Ockenden does day in and day out on the best people, and there's never anything for them other than what we know that what they can do. And these people just step up. And like I said in the locker room to them, when you take Casey and you take Leanne and you take Kelsey, who averaged less than 10 minutes a game combined last year, a piece, and to give the type of performances with what these two can do, and then with Christina Donnell and Emily and Emma and everybody else off the bench and Natalie, I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be prouder of it. We faced a lot of adversity this year. We lost a lot of people. We lose Christine Best, 6 games into the season. We look abominable in our first game without her, and then Casey steps in and everybody started to believe. And this is why you coach, for these types of teams where people who believe with each other. It's just incredible.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
You had a rough start to the game yesterday. Today you come out totally different. You were 7 for 9 shooting to start. Fairfield was 3 for 19 to start. How vital were the first few minutes of the game as far as setting the tone and building a lead?
I think it was extremely vital, because we basically did not shoot the basketball well, against Niagara, and then we finished real strong, and thank God we kept on going from where we did at the end of it. But I think it was vital. You don't want these kids have been here before, and Fairfield had been here before as far as their 3 main guns 2 years ago, and you really wanted to get out. Kelsey's bat assist was huge right off the bat, and then the block shots that we got early on Johnson, on Linney, on Pina, they were huge, and it just carried and it snowballed throughout. They make the first basket of the second half, and then I don't think they made it. They missed about their next 15. And someone told me I'd be up 30 or 31 with 5-6 minutes to go. Whoa, sure you got the right teams there. Fairfield's a great team.
For Coriel and Brandy, particularly being the seniors, having a streak now of 7 straight tournament victories, going into this final game, is there a lot of pressure going into today's game, knowing you don't want to be the senior class that doesn't win this, that doesn't go to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of pressure. Considering we didn't shoot the ball as well as we normally do against early in the tournament, so it was a little nerve-wracking there. But I know that the type of team we have, we play well as a team, and that's what we did today. And
couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. And even though there was a lot of pressure, like George just said it perfectly, we've been here before, we know what to expect, and everyone just has to step up and play as well as they can.
Ed Weir, WKIP Poughkeepsie. Coach Georges, how big of a help was the day off, ironically enough, for you yesterday? Because you had a
All I know
really...
is I see Rich Edser back there smiling, because I always complained about it. You know, I wanted to play because we always had a lot more depth, but we've got a lot of walking wounded right now. The first thing he said to me at the gym, so do you like the day off? And it was like, yeah, we do. Okay, you got me, Rich.
That was a big factor then.
Oh, absolutely. But it's a big factor for them, too. I mean, we both had tough semifinal games. Both of us had to come back. We had to come back a little farther than they did. But...
Coach, can you talk a little bit about how the team changed earlier in the season once you put Casey in and how that's propelled you through the MAAC tournament?
Well, the one thing that Casey can do, Casey can score. And she's the type, you know, she's like the Jeremy Lin of point guards, where, you know, she can score, she finds people, she has great passes, and if she has 5 or 6 turnovers, she probably doesn't even know who Jeremy Lin is, nor should Kim. Did you see the sign with Doolin saying it?
Yes, I did.
Yes. But, you know, the one thing I had to get used to, I started harping on it, and it's like, George, just shut up. Just be thankful that she's out there running the point. She's not turning the ball over every bit, you know, and she's going to make, you know, the best thing about her is she has the shortest memory. She can throw the worst pass in the world, and she's going to come back and try to throw it the next time. You know, and that's something really important. You don't want a point guard playing scared. And she, you know, her first time at the point, and she didn't play point last year unless it was in garbage time. But her first time at point was against St. Bonaventure. It was a top 25 team. And we're tied with 5 minutes to go at their place. And I think that really helped set it up. And then what we saw we did in the Hofstra tournament where we beat an SEC team and beat Auburn. And she had a layup that they had to go to the monitor to say that it was no good to lose by 2 at Hofstra on their home court. Really showed, you know, and again, it was a thing that always kept coming to my mind is our non-conference schedule, it's ranked, right now it's ranked as the 5th toughest in the country. The game that always keeps coming back to me is Kansas State on our court, where, you know, we lost by 1. You know, we didn't beat them, but boy, we're right there with them, giving them everything that we have. And so, like I say, I just absolutely love the job that Casey Doolin did for us. You're one of the best jobs I've ever seen.
And then, Coach, you just talk a little bit about how coming off a big win over a good Fairfield team, how that momentum carries over into the tournament.
Well, you hope it does. Right now we have midterms, so I mean they almost fell over when I said they have off till Friday. But it's midterm week, and you know then you're like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. You know, we don't play for another week, and you know they're tired, and you know they need to study. So again, as wonderful as this is, it's still all about their education. That's what's going to carry them on in life, not winning a MAAC championship.
Casey, can you just talk about what you went through this season? You went from being a great player to come off the bench to becoming a really big star for this team this season. Can you just talk about what you went through this season to prepare yourself for this point?
Well, at first I was very nervous, and I didn't even think that I would last at the point long. I thought Natalie would have it back. I don't know, I just played hard for my team. I knew throughout the year we all wanted to win this again and go somewhere.
Coriel, can you talk for a second about being the next in the progression of Players of the Year at Marist that keeps going on to the championship and into the NCAA Tournament? Yeah, how much pressure is that in that from the leadership aspects and also on the court?
It's a lot of pressure, but I know that this year, 1 through 5, the team is going to do what they do night in and night out. We never know who's going to have a good game, and I just play within the system, and it's an honor to be next up as Player of the Year with among people like Rachel Fitz and Fifi and Erica Allensbach. It truly is an honor, and I've gotten the chance to play with a couple of them, and I can't say it enough that it's just an honor to be in with them.
Brian, it seems every year the names change for you guys, but the result's the same. A chance to get the NCAA tournament and play on. What is it about this program that just keeps on going? I mean, you guys could have lost yesterday or 2 days ago, and you.
I really believe it's kids that believe in the system. Great assistant coaches. I have 4 of the best assistant coaches that there are out there that are great with scouts. I mean, we don't have the people that are going to just we don't have a true center. You know, Brandy has stepped in this year, has just done a wonderful job. She's played the 4 all her life. You know, Emily Stallings coming off the bench is the only true center. We don't have a true point guard other than Natalie coming off the bench. But kids just buy into the system. You know, it's funny, I actually talked about zone one time, and these guys got sick. Like, we're not playing zone. You know, they believe in the system of what we do, that if my coaches do a scout and say, this is what we need to do, this is what we try to do. And this team, I'll be honest with you, this team has had trouble during the year as far as handling scouts. You know, it's nice when you play someone the 3rd time and it's like, remember, this is how they hurt us there. This is how, and they put it all together today. And they saw, what it takes. Way to go, Case. They saw what it takes to, they believe in the system and they believe in each other. And, we have a player on our team that, is a great player, but if she doesn't play defense, well, she went out and played the best defense she's had all year this year, and lo and behold, she plays more. And again, that and taking care of the basketball have always been our credos, and these guys buy into it, and we hope that the next group of kids who replace these buy into it. And these guys are very good at learning from who came before them, and they teach the kids who come after them. So, like I said, it's just been a wonderful ride, and you just always hope it never stops.
The game on Saturday, Coach, when it was starting to go a little bit south for you, I thought the crowd just gave you a tremendous lift in the atmosphere.
Well,
how big was a factor in that of this?
I thought it was. I thought the whole place was packed. It was that loud, and I just think our kids fed on it. People have been used to it. I didn't realize until, we're used to it with our fans, and I didn't realize until I saw a program this year that we'd only, since 2005, 2010, we've only lost 2 games at home in the MAAC. And that we're both in the same year, that 5 out of the last 6 years we've been undefeated at home. We have, and that's why people like it. We have people that travel. They love this team. They cheer us on, and these kids feed off it. These kids are very appreciative of what they have. I think that's the biggest thing too, is we didn't panic. I saw a lot of teams this weekend panic when they were down, and this team didn't panic at all.
Coach, can you go back to talk a little bit more about the job that Kelsey did on Lenny? I saw her the other night. She looked like she was a 3-point shooting machine.
Well, that was Leanne. That was Leanne. Kelsey did the job today on Tara Johnson.
2 for 16, I think.
Right. And again, we had to get out on her to take away her 3-point game. We had to be there on the catch. And a couple times where, I just believe that a lot of times if you're always there on the catch and stuff, when they get that little opening, they have a tendency to rush. And when she did get 3s off, they were rushed with people running at her and stuff, and we took away her drives baseline. So, and again, that's a lot of credit to, actually, Coriel, I think, had that job today because Leanne guarded Pina. But we switch all the time. And, these guys did a job today.
Brian, 5th toughest non-conference schedule in the country and 1 loss during the league season. Where do you think you guys will be seeded in the tournament?
Doesn't matter. Just hopefully not 16 or 15. I think we've earned enough to be, somewhere in that 11 to 14 range. But again, stranger things happen, and again, we understood, like, if we would have lost today, we weren't getting in. as tough of a schedule as we played, that doesn't get you, and we would have had to win more of those games, even though a lot of them were very close. So, you know, that's the way it is. We understand the process. We know that it comes down, and I preach to these guys all the time, it comes down to 3 days of March, and you want to be playing your best basketball during this tournament, and we played it especially on the last day.
Coach, I cover the University of Massachusetts women's basketball team, so I saw plenty of Christina Danella. How did you get her to go to Marist, and what would you say about her play since she's come here?
It's been interesting. You know, first of all, as far as how she got there, again, one of our assistant coaches, Elisa Kresge, is a Red Bank Catholic grad. I know Joe Montana pretty well. And she knew some of our kids, you know, some of our predecessors, Nina Vecchio, people like that. So when Joe Montana called me and said she was interested, you know, and it was kind of interesting when she committed to UMass. She was supposed to stop by on the way back, and she decided to commit on the trip and never came. And, you know, that was her loss. And she got to know some of our people who had graduated. And then when she came last year, she was way too much wanted to fit in. Where it's like, I mean, these guys even teach shoot, Danella, shoot, you know, and that's what the kid does. And we couldn't get her to shoot. Then this year, you know, it still is the same thing. And, you know, we had 3 games where, you know, Coriel missed a game, Kelsey missed 2. And I think she averaged about 19 a game in all 3 of those. You know, she stepped up, but, you know, her problem was she needed to guard somebody on the other end of the floor. She came from a 2-3 zone program, and dear, love you to death, but you can't stick with that kid, or you can't understand what we're doing in it, I don't care how good you are. So she put it together today, and again, she's been a great 6th person for us.
Coriel, the coach credited everyone but himself when talking about why this program's been successful for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. What does he bring to you guys that seems, no matter who's on the court, you guys perform to the top of your ability and seem to keep on advancing to the tournament?
Well, one of the main things, his scouts are unbelievable. I mean, it's so detailed, and we know what we're doing at every point in the game, and sometimes we don't, and we just have to talk, but that's one thing that his scouts are flawless, I can say. How well I stick to them sometimes may reflect on my defense, but and other than that, I mean, just always keeping us focused. I mean, there's so many distractors at school, but with him, we always know that we got to focus, and especially this weekend, we had to put it together. And I think he should give more credit to himself.
No. My assistants do the scouts.
He does some of them, too.
They do most of them. I just tweak things, and, you know, we present and we talk about different things, but...
Well, Coach, ladies, congratulations once again, and best of luck in the NCAA Tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you.